Hello, today I'm going to show you glass only LED refurbishment screen repair for the iPhone 11 Pro without the display notification. Now briefly to explain what I mean by without the display notification, with the iPhone 11, 11 Pro and 11 Pro Max, what Apple have done is if you take the original screen off of a device and you fit another screen to it, it comes up when you boot the phone with a message that says unable to determine whether this screen is genuine or not. Now, to be very clear with how this works, you could go to the Apple Store, you could buy a brand new sealed iPhone 11, 11 Pro or 11 Pro Max. You can take it out of the sealed box, you can remove the display, you can fit that display to another phone, and that other phone, when you boot it, it will say, unable to determine whether this screen is genuine, even though you've just unsealed it from a box that you've just bought from the Apple Store itself at full price. So, of course, the screen is genuine. But anyway, if you've got any questions over any of the processes, please leave them in the comments. I've tried to include everything. There's nothing worse than when you watch a video and they leave out little important steps and then you go to recreate it and you can't because they've left out the information. So I've tried to include as much as I can. If you've got any questions, leave them in the comments and yeah, enjoy.
Hello. So today I've got an 11 Pro. The touch is fully working. 11 Pro screen for a screen repair. As you can see, it's got some nasty cracks on it up here and along the frame there. They're not nice. So this is going to be a fun one. Right, there we go. So it's on the heat plate. So I haven't recorded many videos lately because I lost my harness to record videos with. I don't know where I've put it, so I bought a new one and it arrived today. So this is going to be the first one I'm going to do with my new harness, and I'm going to do it from the beginning to the end, and fingers crossed it's all working and it's good for the repair. So that's all tested. Now the iPhone 11 Pro and the 11 Pro Max and the 11, they have got the display notification to say unable to confirm this display is genuine. So that is paired to this core panel, this IC here specifically. So I'm going to try and do this, and that is part of the digitizer, which is very, very delicate and hard to keep for the whole process. But I'm going to try and keep that and this whole digitizer panel and just put glass on the top so that it's good to use. And the iPhone is able to tell that the screen is still genuine. Right. Normally I wouldn't bother with this speaker mesh, but I'm actually sure how many of those we've got left at the moment, and with it being Chinese New Year, let's keep it nice and safe. There. It's the frame off. Oh man, look at those cracks down there. This is going to be real nice. It's going to be real nice. Ah, I forgot cold press glue. Not the cold press glue, the frame glue. Now, I only want to get the big, thick, clumpy bits off because the YMJ mould, the plastic is not sticky at all. So the last one of these I did, I had to use OCA as a adhesive to keep it in place. I've left some of the glue on the back of that metal LED still right. Here we go, I'm going to come in with a wire. Coming up to the shards. So we're past the main flex. Cool. It's going well. Wire snapped. Right, now this corner's got some shards in it, so I'm going to bring it through this corner first. Right, both of those edges, amazingly, felt like they came clean. Did you all in one piece? By the looks of it. Okay. Let's get rid of that. Right. What's that? The excess max. Okay, I'll give that a go. It's obviously not going to fit very well, but just a little bit of suction would be good. Now this that I'm using here is called G Remover. It's sold by Mirko from Germany in the LCD group. I'll leave a link to the LCD group in the description of this video. You'll find Mirko in there. He's one of the moderators and he sells this from Germany. I also use, when I run out of this, Laminating, which works really well. And I know of some guys that just use just heat, apparently, or isopropyl. So basically anything that loosens up this glue. There we go. We're going to have a little wait here while this soaks in and dries a little bit. And we're going to try and start coming in down at this bottom corner here. So it's far enough away from the bottom flex that it shouldn't bend it. So it should work nicely. So at the moment it's still quite shiny. We want it to look a bit more matte. It's starting to go like it in the middle, just a tiny bit there. You want it just to dry out a little bit. Still very wet. It's not quite soft enough yet. But we have our entry. Now what we can't see yet is on the digitizer, which is the top layer under this glue, the digitizer on these models, on all of the OLED models, is so sensitive, so sensitive. So the smallest little bit of fragment of glass or anything can just leave like a tiny little sort of dot on the digitizer, and if that's there, then that shows when the new glass is laminated. So you need this to be completely perfect. And the way that you do that is you just simply do not touch the digitizer. You peel the glue, you start at an edge and you peel the glue, and you do everything you can not to touch the digitizer, and you cross your hands, or you cross everything you have, that when you finish, there is no mark on the digitizer that was there before you started peeling it from where the glass broke or something like that. Well, that feels a bit softer now. Right, and when I'm starting this, I'm starting it from the edge where it already is, and I'm peeling it back in on itself. So the only bit I'm really touching is the glue itself. I'm going to try and bring this all the way to the top so that I can get it from edge to edge and then bring it down on itself. Right, so now I'm around the top. The rubber mould doesn't quite fit the screen, so it's not sucking it down fully, which also means it's not as warm as it should be. The glue's not as hot as it should be. But I don't want to raise the temperature because I risk burning the polarizer. Right. Right. So that's the thick bit of the glue left. There's still some smears sort of left on there, but nothing huge. And the digitizer looks good. So let's give it a, turn you off. Let's give it a little quick test. I'm not going to test the touch because that's going to involve touching it. Just going to test the LCD. We're good. Alright, lovely. Let's go and try and get this perfect. I'm just going to blank the camera while I walk across my room. Right, here we are. Now, if there's any glue left on the edges, it can cause bubbles on the new glass. So it's the best time is now to get rid of that. So if I've left enough on the back of this, it should sit quite nicely. Remove these a bit early. Right. Almost there. Right, good. We're good. Right. So I've got my glass prepped here. Do you know what? I'm not happy with that actually. I'm not happy with how that's raising there. Can you see that? That's going to make contact with the glass OCA quicker than the other parts of the screen. I'm not happy with that. I need to stick that down. Right. Tiny bit of OCA, just hold that in place. Let's go again. I'm happy with the rest of that. Just give me another look over for dust. It's looking good. So wipe down the glass again. Good flow. Then beautiful. Here she goes. So got it on 45 vacuum, 10 hold. Show you just up there, and it's just under 0.1 pressure. That's at 41 seconds, so 45 is going to press down. It goes. See how we're looking. Oh. Looking good. You can see that little piece of OCA that I had to use just there. Okay, let's get this separated. Lovely. So as you can see, they're going away. They will go completely after a couple of minutes in the autoclave. Put some small bubbles in there. Let's go test it though. Just going to blank out the camera while I walk across. There we go. There we go. Top brightness. It's always harder to show these screens on camera compared to real life, but look, all good there, no dust. All good there, no dust. Obviously some bubbles which show up slightly darker. And the touch screen. Wasn't quite plugged in properly the first time. The touchscreen's all good. Screen is fine. Right, I'm just going to bang this in the autoclave for 4 minutes, and then I'll get it out and show you how it looks at the end. While that screen's in the autoclave, I'm just getting the frame ready. So I thought I'd record this. No reason why not. And I'm going to record actually gluing the frame afterwards. So. There we go. So that's the double-sided adhesive. That's needed on the inside of the frame, because if that's not there and there's a gap, no matter how strong the glue is around the outside edge, the cold press glue for the frame, with nothing between the metal frame and the metal backing of the LED, the glass, it flexes in here just a little bit. It's got a tiny little gap, so it flexes, and as it flexes, it works this glue along the edge loose, and as it works that glue loose, the screen raises, and if the screen raises, it can break the LED, break the touch, that type of stuff. So it's key that this adhesive is used, or something to that thickness is used, just to support the screen. Right, here we go. It's out of the autoclave. Just a quick look. Perfect. Perfect. I want to keep the screen protector on it because I want it to protect from the glue when I come to glue it. But there's no mark on the digitizer. It's mint. There is no bubbles left. It's all perfect. Good to go. Now I'm going to glue this to the frame, and then I'm going to show you it working in the actual phone. I'm going to do a full end-to-end video. I'm going to do some editing this time. Just to prove it's the same screen, I'm just going to do a tick here, right? Now when I've got the frame on, you're going to see that black line coming through. The frame, it's the best thing I could just come up with very quickly just to prove it's the same screen, but there you go. And the numbers, I don't know if you can see the numbers on there, are they in focus? But they are 935078. I can't see it myself, whether you can see that, but yeah, it's going to be the same screen afterwards. So just give it a quick test. Right, we're in. Top brightness. Looking good. Looking good. All right, sweet. That's done. Let's go stick a frame on it. Okay, here I have the screen. Here I have the screen. I can need that. And I have the frame with adhesive. I have my clamp ready. I have my glue. So first thing I'm going to do is just clean up the glue that I left on the back of the screen so that it could stick to the YMJ mould nicely. It's only a little bit on there. This one's clean enough. A bit of the tick off. Thick bit there. Right, that's nice and clean. It's ready to go into the frame. So here I have the housing. I like to use a housing as my clamp. As well. Now, starting at the bottom flex side, I'm going to start applying the glue. There's no gaps in this glue. It's good all the way around. Cool, perfect, right. Now get the frame out of the housing. Well, normally I'd use empty housings, but we don't have any iPhone 11 Pro empty housings yet because it's quite new. There we go. Okay. So now peel off the adhesive. There. And then we're going to sit the flex in the bottom here. This is really important, this bit, because if you get the flex in wrong, you can trap it and squeeze it and you can damage it. So at the bottom, I'm going to put the flex in and sit the glass on the bottom, like so. And I'm just going to close it like a book. There we go. Now the top lines up nicely. The bottom's in, top's in, sides are falling in nicely. Now these side brackets, when it goes into the housing, they need to connect. Now normally it's an empty housing, so I just close it and the flex cables have got loads of room to move. However, this is a full housing with everything in it. So I'm actually, to keep the flex cables safe, I'm going to connect them to the board while I close it because I don't want them to get pinched and damaged. When I close it. Right, both of the battery connectors are still unplugged. I'm going to leave those unplugged. Okay, so now I'm going to close this like I would a normal phone. I've got a speaker mesh, but we can put that in after it's finished drying. Keep that with it. Okay. There we go, so the clip's going in the bottom, so that's in, nice and flush all the way round. Give it a little wipe down around the edges where the excess glue is with a slightly damp cloth, but it doesn't matter too much, it wipes off afterwards with a dry cloth. Go right, now that goes face down into the clamp. There you go. That's now going to stay clamped for 2 hours, and then we'll get it out and we'll reassemble it and we'll see where we are. So the screen has been in clamps now overnight, so I'm just going to remove it. Right, screen protector's stuck on there, which is fine. No bubbles that have reappeared. Looks fine. Now the battery is unplugged, so if I tried to power this on, it wouldn't work. But I'm going to remove this from the frame now, and then we're going to fit the foam pieces by the top by the camera and the epi speaker, and then we're going to reassemble it and test it. So I've just fitted the foam stickers to the front screen, as you can see. That helps regulate the light that gets through to the sensors. I'm just going to put on the flood illuminator this final sticker. Right, there we go. Now that's ready to go onto the screen. Okay, the screen is in the phone, fully assembled. Just going to put the bottom screws in before turning it on and testing it. Now this glue around the edges that you can see, it rubs off just with a dry cloth, but you can speed it up with a bit of isopropyl. Comes off looking very nicely. Right. As you can see, display's all good. Touch is all good. And of course, you saw it switch on. There was no notification to say that the display wasn't genuine because the touch panel is the original paired one. And it's hard to show marks on the digitizer. It's hard to show marks on the digitizer on camera, but this is honestly perfect. So there you go, 11 Pro, start to finish, including frame, nice and flush, perfect.